Hunter Biden's book an epic failure.
An epic failure.
Mr. Reagan.
Research into 5G's architecture reveals your mobile service could be maliciously used against you. New findings show 5G could be used to exploit your data and cause DDoS, distributed denial of service attacks, through security flaws in the cellular networks. As with any disruptive technology, hackers and corporations will always look for ways to exploit it at the cost of you and your privacy. This is why I highly recommend Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield is my favorite VPN because unlike typical VPNs, they have a strict no-log policy and there's no hidden fees. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. Even grandma can do it. And believe it or not, I do put on my Virtual Shield VPN when I am surfing the web. I didn't used to be so paranoid about privacy until January 6th. That changed a lot. Now the government is persecuting people for political beliefs and not simply prosecuting people for crimes. This is a very scary time. I highly encourage everyone to have a VPN and to turn it on whenever they use their computer, and you can also use it for your phone. So I highly recommend getting a VPN of some kind. Obviously, Virtual Shield has been a fantastic sponsor of this show, so please, if you're going to get a VPN, do consider going to Virtual Shield. Get Virtual Shield for 50% off by going to virtualshield.com/Mr. Reagan or by clicking on the link below. So let's go ahead and read here. Hunter Biden book sales tank after first week despite PR campaign. So here's the thing. Hunter had gone on to all of these, you know, he was being interviewed by reporters. He went on Jimmy Kimmel, which is, you know, a late night supposedly comedy show, and he was pushing his book there, and everybody was giving him these softball questions. You remember these? Did we cover this on this show? I think we did, where they were saying things to him like, oh, tell us about the laptop. Was the laptop legitimate? Now, they didn't ask about Burisma. They didn't ask about China. They didn't ask any tough questions, but they did ask about the laptop, and it seemed like they were asking him layup questions, basically like, here, let's give you an opportunity to tell the country that the laptop isn't yours, right? And then he would say like, well, I don't know, because I was pretty messed up, so I don't know. And they'd be like, but come on, you'd know if it was your laptop. And he's like, did you read the book? I mean, I was pretty messed up. And they'd go, yeah, you were pretty messed up. Okay, we believe you.
But the rumors lived on. In October 2020, a New York Post article said that emails purportedly showing shady dealings in Ukraine by Hunter Biden were found on a laptop computer that he supposedly left in a Delaware repair shop in 2019. The details were sketchy at best. And last month, a declassified intelligence report said that before the election, the Russians had launched a smear campaign against Joe Biden and his family.
It does not specifically talk about your laptop.
Yeah.
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you know
this is. I really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is.
You don't know yes or no if the laptop
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
And you didn't drop off a laptop to be repaired in Delaware?
Not that I remember at all. At all. So we'll see.
I've seen you on some interviews and, you know, talking about the laptop. This became this big thing, the laptop. And when they ask you if that was your laptop, you say you don't know, which is hard to believe unless you read the book. Yeah. And then it's kind of like, I'm surprised you have shoes on.
Yeah.
You know?
Read the book.
And it was absolute garbage reporting. It was just like these softball interviews of the son of the president, who's been accused of many people, including myself, of essentially taking bribes for President Biden, who was the vice president. And, you know, and this laptop obviously has a lot of evidence that indicates that. And none of these questions addressed any of that. And instead, there was this whole business about how he was so he was in withdrawal, I guess, for, you know, because he had stopped smoking crack, and he was so desperate to smoke crack that he was digging through the carpet for maybe pieces of crack that he had dropped, and if he found a little something that looked white and crumb-like, he would smoke it. And he said he smoked more Parmesan cheese than anybody, the reporter he was talking about, had ever met.
I spent more time on my hands and knees picking through rugs, smoking anything that even remotely resembled crack cocaine. I probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anyone, anyone that you know, I'm sure, Tracy.
My friend and I thought it would be funny to do a fake ad for like the Olive Garden. Like, we've got the best Parmesan on the planet. This Parmesan is hardcore.
I like Parmesan. I really like, I boil corn. It's a weird thing. Put mayonnaise and Parmesan and I eat it. It's like Mexican. I saw Mexicans do that. But now I'm looking at Parmesan and all I can think of
is Hunter Biden trying to smoke crack. Yeah, delightful image. But anyway, yeah, so despite him doing all these interviews and him getting all this free press and them really pushing the book, and to me it's like astonishing. Like Trump's son had written a book when Trump was president, and I don't think any of these reporters wanted to interview him or talk to him because they didn't want to push his book, right? And but they'll all bring on Hunter and they'll throw him these softball questions.
Yeah.
Because, to me, this is really awful because this is such cronyism where it's like, well, we're Democrats and we like this Democrat president, so we're going to help his son sell books. Despite the fact that, like, this guy's essentially a criminal, they don't care. They're solid Democrats. They don't care about right and wrong. All they care about is, like, there you go, Aston. Helping their buddies out. They like Biden, and so they want to help Biden's kid out, despite the fact that he's criminal. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. He's a criminal. Treat him like a criminal. The fact that he hasn't been investigated or prosecuted for any of his crimes doesn't change the fact that he's a criminal. I mean, we know he's a criminal because he lied specifically on the most recent. This is just the most recent one. We found that he lied on his application to get a gun, right? He lied and he said that he was not doing drugs, which was a lie. That's a crime, right?
Maybe he wasn't doing drugs at that minute.
Yeah. Well, that all depends on what your definition of is. That was a Bill Clinton impression, in case anybody's familiar with that particular thing. Anyway, so yeah, let's. I mean, there wasn't much to read here.
Austin.
Beautiful Things is the name of his book. Beautiful Things. The beautiful things. I like beautiful things, like prostitutes and crack.
Did you see his prostitutes? Not beautiful.
Oh, yeah, I always thought, like, because he's made millions through Burisma and through China.
His particular
if you have
taste.
that much money and you don't mind sleeping with prostitutes, at least buy some decent-looking prostitutes. I know it's kind of a messed up thing to say, but you make a good point, darling. They are not the kind of prostitutes. If I was a degenerate millionaire, they're not the ones I would buy.
For you, they don't look as beautiful as you would like to have a prostitute because you are sober. He is not. When you are not sober, you see things differently, especially in women, because there's like this joke when you see a woman and one bottle of vodka and there is a beautiful model in front of you.
or one bottle of vodka. The first shot, she's like kind of okay. Second shot, not bad. Third shot, looking pretty good.
Yes, exactly.
Well, maybe it might take more than three, but you guys get the idea. So, all right, so it's possible he was just smoking crack, called up whoever it is that supplies his prostitutes. They said, "What kind of prostitute do you want?" And he goes, "I don't care."
Exactly.
Yeah, you make a good point there. All right, the show today is sponsored by Hunter Biden's prostitutes. We're talking way too much about that. I do want to talk about how lovely it is that Hunter Biden's book sales have not been successful, despite the fact that he's been on all these shows. So he did sell some. Okay, it says here, Beautiful Things, the name of his book, a confessional memoir by President Ne'er-do-well's son, the presidential Ne'er-do-well son. I love that. Who wrote this? Roger Friedman. You can write a tiny article very well. Oh, here we go. Continue reading. So I have to click here then. Hunter Biden's confessional book, Beautiful Things, is a sales bust after first week despite PR push. Beautiful Things, the confessional, is a flop after 1 week. NPD Bookscan says the book in Hunter I think it's in which Hunter whines about being a drug addict who slept around and has no memory of fathering a child, just sold 10,000 copies in its first week. For a celebrity book with so much PR, TV appearances, etc., that's not a lot. And they're absolutely right. That is nothing. I mean, just think about the fact that, like, just consider how many views I get on my YouTube videos, despite the fact that YouTube censors my videos. YouTube's got their boot on my neck. I cannot distribute my videos in any significant way. And I still get at least 20,000 views a video. And that's not even... Now, I know it's a lot easier to just click on a YouTube video than to buy a book. But with somebody with the kind of reach that Hunter Biden has, going on all these network shows, I mean, massive shows with millions of viewers, millions, literally millions of viewers, and he sells 10,000 copies? Cool. Not even Democrats want anything to do with dopey Hunter Biden. Look at that. For a celebrity, the book, so much PR, that's not a lot. On Amazon, Beautiful Things is ranked number 208, apparently. Nevertheless, an early surge in sales based on Biden's appearance on CBS Sunday Morning puts Beautiful Things at number 4 on the New York Times bestseller list that comes out today. But that might just have something to do with the timing, right? So they might have chosen a window that happened to be very good for Hunter Biden. Or it might have been that the New York Times is just lying, because they do that now. They didn't used to, at least I don't think. But that'll be short-lived. Last week, Rock Me on the Water, a terrible book about cultural trends in 1974, hit the list after its Sunday morning plug, and it's gone this week. Hunter's TV appearances on CBS were embarrassing. He came off like Eddie Haskell from Leave It to Beaver, cloying, unsympathetic, whiny, sycophantic. Hunter has a sad story, certainly. When he was a child, his mother and sister were killed in a car accident. As an adult, his brother died of cancer. So Hunter turned to crack cocaine, slept with his sister-in-law, and fathered a child with a woman he doesn't remember. Well, the latter stuff really isn't a sad story. It's more of a pathetic story. And I don't know if we can be sympathetic to him for those things. Those are his own choices. Forget about his questionable business life. This guy is a creep. Instead of honoring his family, he brought them disgrace. In the meantime, NPD Bookscan reports that 4 of the best-selling books so far this year, also in March, were by Dr. Seuss. They were Cat in the Hat, Oh, the Places You'll Go, Green Eggs and Ham, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. This is after Dr. Seuss's estate withdrew 6 of his old books because they had outdated, quote-unquote, racist images. That decision was turned out to be the best sales PR ever, right? I mean, it is funny. Like, if you look at all the best-selling books in history, a lot of them are books that were considered scandalous, and so they got a lot of free publicity because people were trying to ban them and stuff like that. Which is why I want to call my nonfiction book that I'm writing, White People Are Awesome. Because that will definitely... Oh, hello, Cat's Tail. Because that will definitely cause some controversy, I think. So it's a bit of a strategic move on my part. At the end of this article, they write, Hunter should have called his book, Oh, the Places I Went. You know what? That's actually kind of genius.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening.